Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Nick Push. Welcome back to my Versus series. If you're new to this, I am taking a couple different things from movies, and I'm ranking them accordingly and deciding who is the winner. I have already done Halloween Ends versus Halloween Resurrection, and I've done Batman, or The Batman, I should say, versus The Dark Knight. Both were fun videos. People have said they liked them, so I'm going to continue this. Today, we're going back to my bread and butter. We're going Halloween versus Friday the 13th. If you're new to the channel, I have made quite a few Friday the 13th videos. And I have made an enormous amount of Halloween videos. It's kind of what I love to talk about. I thought it might be fun to rank these two franchises. I got a ranking system that's going to work for this video. Obviously, there's many different ways we can rank this, but I want to get into this, and we're going to decide who the winner is. So let's get into this.
If you like horror, hit that notification bell, smash that like button, and push that subscribe button now.
All right, so like I said, there are absolutely countless ways we can go about ranking this franchise. Obviously, Friday the 13th, so far, there's a series coming, but so far, there are 12 movies in that franchise. And Halloween just had their 13th movie with Halloween Ends. So I have a possible tiebreaker if it ends up being a tie, because there's going to be 12 categories. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rank each movie in the franchise against each other. And it's going to be like this. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to go, just in order of each franchise. So Halloween 2 versus Friday 2, Halloween H2O versus Friday 7, just like that. Obviously, you could rank them each franchise individually, the best in each franchise versus each other, or however you want to do it. But for simplicity's sake, like I said, this is how I'm going to do it. Not really any criteria here. I'm just going to pit them against each other and decide which one I think is better. And it's going to be a combination of, which is the better overall movie, which movie I like better, and things like that. You'll see. So, let's get into this. Hopefully we don't have to use this tiebreaker. As you guys know, Halloween is my thing. It's my franchise. So I'm expecting this to win. But you never know. Friday's a solid franchise too, and I'm a big Friday fan. I think it's going to be close. So, let's start with the OGs here. We have Halloween 1978 versus Friday the 13th, which came out 2 years later in 1980. Friday the 13th is essentially a ripoff of Halloween. Sean Cunningham himself admitted that. They saw the success of Halloween, and they said, hey, let's get in on this. And they had a title. We can go on and on about the history of both of these movies. Friday is good. I think the original Friday the 13th, unjustifiably gets a lot of, not hate, but, people put it towards the mid or towards the back of the franchise because it doesn't have Jason. I think it's really good. I think it's really creepy, the way it's lit in the woods, and, Mrs. Voorhees is arguably scarier than Jason. It's iconic in the horror world. A lot of scenes in it, and the ending where she gets her head chopped off. So does it stand a chance against Halloween 1978? Actually, no, it does not. Halloween 1978 wins that. We got Halloween with a 1-0 lead. Next up, we have Halloween 2, 1981. Versus Friday the 13th Part 2, also in 1981. This is probably the toughest one to choose for me. I fucking love Halloween 2. I absolutely love it, guys. It's my second favorite in the franchise by far. It's not even close. And then we have Friday the 13th Part 2, which is just an incredible movie in the franchise. It's my second favorite in the franchise, actually. This was really challenging. Side note, what's interesting about these two movies, besides the fact that they both came out in 1981, is both of their kills, the first kills of each movie, has a character named Alice dying, right? You got Michael, sneaks into Alice's house at the beginning and, stabs her in the throat, I guess, and then you see his eyes. Still a good kill, but I don't like seeing his eyes. And then you have Alice, the survivor of Friday the 13th, the OG, getting killed by Jason. And then Jason nicely takes the teapot off the stove. But you got Sackhead Jason versus Robotic Myers. I love the setting of Halloween 2 in the hospital. Ginny from Friday 2 is my favorite final girl in either of these franchises. I think she's fantastic. So which one wins? This, like I said, this is very, very tough for me, but I had to go with Halloween 1981, Halloween 2 1981. So the Halloween franchise off to a 2-0 start. Is this going to be a blowout? Let's see. Part 3, we have 2 movies that also came out in 1982. We have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and Friday the 13th, Part 3. Now, another 2 movies that I'm big, big fans of. You're going to hear me say that for a little bit here, and then it's going to be the opposite probably. But, I love Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I never appreciated it when I was younger, and like a lot of people, I came around on it, and now it's one of my favorites in the franchise. It's I think I had it in my top 5, right around there. But I love it. It's a great movie. I hope we get more to the story or a reboot or whatever. And then you got Friday the 13th Part 3. It's actually the first Friday movie I ever saw. It has Jason getting the hockey mask. Iconic moment. Who knew that would spawn what it did as far as being in the pop culture? Who knew? Richard Brooker is my favorite Jason, bar none. I love the way he moves. He was a trapeze artist, and you can tell that in his movements. I think he's fucking awesome. Chris as a final girl is underrated. The Friday the 13th Part 3 has arguably might be my favorite third act in any horror movie. It's that good. Chris goes, from the house to the van to the barn, and then you got the great showdown at the barn. It's fucking great. But I'm a big Halloween guy, and like I said, I love Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. So, who wins this one? Friday the 13th Part 3 takes the cake. So we're getting a little closer. Excuse me. Next. Once again, 2 fucking great movies. 2 great Part 4s. You have Friday the 13th, the final chapter. The quintessential slasher movie, in my opinion. If someone wanted to know how to do a slasher movie right, what to do when studying, a slasher movie and how to film it and how to structure it from a storytelling perspective and lighting and all kinds of that, I'd tell them go watch Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Don't pay attention to the title because it is not the final chapter, obviously, but it's fucking great. Ted White's great as Jason. And then you got Halloween 4. Other than Myers' mask here, this movie's fucking great. It's my 3rd favorite in the franchise. Jamie Lloyd. Loomis is arguably, I keep saying arguably, but he is my favorite version of Loomis in this franchise. He's kind of lost it a little bit. Not as much as Part 5, but he's lost it, yelling at Meeker and things like that. So many good things in both of these. But I ultimately must choose a winner. I'm a Halloween guy, but Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is fucking awesome, and it wins for me. It's my favorite movie in the Friday franchise. So, had to win. So, just like that, we're tied at 2. And now we're starting to, we're up here, and now we're going to start to slowly, or in some cases not slowly, start talking about some lesser quality movies. You guys know my feelings on Halloween 5. It's a fucking garbage dumpster fire. Loomis is fucking gone way over the deep end. Jamie's a mute. The Myers house. Myers floating down the river. Myers in the cell. God, it could go on and on. Tina, Rachel dying. God. And then you got Friday, Part 5. No Jason, remember. This is Roy. Tommy's really not a likable character in this movie. You got Reggie the Reckless, all right, there's some redeeming qualities of this. There's some redeeming qualities of Halloween 5 as well. There's some decent kills. That's about it. The clown cops. I can't look past the clown cops either, guys. I'm sorry. I got to give it to Roy for Friday 5. And just like that, Friday has taken a 3-2 lead. My God. looked like it was going to be a blowout for Halloween. But as I said, these franchises, quality-wise, are pretty close. So we'll see what happens and see if we need that tiebreaker. Let's move on to part 6. You got Jason Lives versus Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. This would be a good battle between these two, Jason versus Michael in these movies. But Jason Lives, most people's favorite in the franchise. It's not mine, just because tonally I like the darker movies of the first 4. But I get the appeal. They realized what they had in this franchise. They realized, people go to the movies to see Jason, right? And it's just a fun-ass movie. You got Alice Cooper's song, Man Behind the Mask. It's great. And Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Story-wise, fucking garbage. Absolutely fucking garbage. Michael being stopped by magic stones, depending on what cut you're watching. God. It just... Michael possibly raping Jamie. Like, ugh, Jesus. Yeah, it has to be Friday. Holy shit, guys. Friday all of a sudden is doubling up Halloween. Didn't see that one coming, did you? Let's move on. We're halfway there. If you're still watching, stick around because this could get closer. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe Friday is going to have the blowout here. But let's get into this. Part 7s. We got Friday the 13th, The New Blood versus Halloween H2O. You guys know I'm not no H2O fan. No, I'm not. Whew, man, go back to English class, Nick. But, Halloween H2O has some redeeming qualities, right? I hate the setting. I hate it, but I love what they did with Laurie's character. Absolutely love it. Hartnett's not bad in this. It's still a Halloween movie, even though it doesn't feel like it because it's not in the Midwest. The way it's filmed, as far as the lighting and the camera movements, just doesn't feel like a Halloween movie at all. But then you got Friday 7 with Tina and Dr. Cruz, and Tina's basically Carrie versus Jason. Yes, you have Kane Hodder looking amazing, absolutely amazing as Jason. Spine sticking out, all the damage to the mask and shit. He's amazing. So, story-wise though, there ain't much here. There is not much at all. So, part 7, we're going Halloween H2O. Yes, I chose H2O over another movie. Crazy, huh? Getting closer. Friday has 4 points. Halloween has 3 points. Let's move on to part 8. Halloween Resurrection versus Jason Takes Manhattan. Kinda. Wow, now we're into the shit, guys. We are neck deep in shit right now. Yikes. Yeah, like I said, Jason Takes Manhattan. It's my least favorite in the franchise. Jason's wet the whole time. He's on a boat. God, he teleports. I mean, all kinds of horrible shit in this movie. What a joke. Not to mention the marketing lying to us. Horribly lying to us. You think the marketing for Halloween Ends was bad, and it was. As far as misleading the audience, look at this movie. Then you got Halloween Resurrection. Yeah, definitely the worst in the original run of this franchise for sure, right? I think a lot of people would agree with that. So, 2 horrible movies in the franchise means I don't want to talk about him anymore. We're just going to go with Michael Myers because both these movies suck donkey balls. And just like that, we are tied, guys. I'd probably rather watch Resurrection than Jason Takes Manhattan. That's kind of my tiebreaker on that one. So, let's move on. Now we got some controversial movies in the franchise. We have Rob Zombie's remake from 2007 versus Jason Goes to Hell from 1993. Both movies have their haters. Both movies have their fans, their apologists, right? Both movies took risks here with Rob Zombie remaking Myers into a gigantic guy that isn't, really pure evil, but he was turned evil, I guess, by white trash family. Not what I would have done there. And then you have Jason Goes to Hell. I might have said Manhattan earlier, but I meant Go to Hell. Jason Goes to Hell. I have a lot of nostalgia with Jason Goes to Hell. I think it was my 13th birthday. We rented it on VHS. Yes, I'm old. We rented it on VHS, and I remember being so excited. I brought a bunch of friends came over, and we watched this. In the beginning of the movie, you see was later determined, not much later, but later determined was an FBI agent. But she starts getting undressed. You know, we're 13-year-old boys. I remember we're in my living room cheering, oh, yeah. My dad's like, what's going on in there? Nothing. And then Jason gets fucking blown up 5 minutes into the movie. And I remember just being like, what the fuck? Yeah, weird movie. Weird fucking movie. So, couple oddballs in the franchise. Who's going to take it? It's Halloween. Rob Zombie's Halloween has too many redeeming qualities. Yes, I ripped on the shit he just said, he just did, with the white trash stuff and making Myers huge and stuff like that. But, you know, you hear the shape stalks. I got a newfound appreciation for this movie. I wouldn't call myself a fan of it, but I have an appreciation for the movie. Rob Zombie's a good director. I just hate his writing. Okay, so we are now at 5-4 Halloween. Next, we got Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 versus Jason X. Tough one here again. Two shit movies. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is not as good as Rob Zombie's Halloween 1. Jason X is Jason in space. Okay? One of them is fun, one of them is boring. So, we're going with the fun one, Jason X. And just like that, guys, we are tied at 5. We need 7 to win. So, one of these two has to win these last two. Otherwise, we're going to a tiebreaker, which I have set, but I'm not going to tell you guys yet, unless we need it. So, let's get into the next one. We got Halloween 2018 versus, we're going to consider it a Friday movie for this, Freddy versus Jason. Okay? Freddy vs. Jason was a fun movie. Saw it in the theaters. I was one of 2 people in the theater. I remember going a Friday morning. One of 2 people in the theater. And it's a fucking blast. It is an absolute fucking blast. You know, I consider it like a comic book movie for horror fans. You know, it was a love letter to us. You know, after all the being in developmental hell and all the talk about it from, you know, 1987 on. You know, you had to look in Fangoria because there was no internet for any news on it. It is a love letter. It's a fun movie. And then you got Halloween 2018, which I have many issues with. But it feels more like a horror movie to me. Say whatever you want about David Gordon Green's trilogy, but they got Myers right in this movie and the next movie. Don't worry, I said that caveat. And I have to go with that over a fun movie. So I have to go Halloween 2018. So Halloween has taken a 6-5 lead. And now, for our final movies in the franchise until the tiebreaker, we have Halloween Kills versus the Friday the 13th remake. 2 movies I enjoy a lot. 2 versions of the killers who are just absolutely bad ass. You have Derek Mears as Jason, who is running again. He's throwing axes. He's setting traps. He is fucking badass. And then you have Myers in Halloween Kills, also badass. He looks great with the burnt mask. There's the scene with him coming out of Laurie's house on fire. So many great sequences involving Myers in this. You have the openings of each movie. The flashback in Halloween Kills, which is easily my favorite part of the David Gordon Green trilogy. They nailed it. Then you got the first 20 minutes of Friday the 13th, 2009, which is probably the most intense 20 minutes of anything in the franchise. Possibly the most intense opening of a horror movie ever. Jason's fucking badass with the sack on his head and everything. Oh my god, setting the bear trap, the sleeping bag kill recreation. It's awesome. So there's so much to like about both of these. Issues with both of them as well, though. Friday the 13th, 2009, the characters are not very likable. I know you can say that about a lot of movies in this franchise, but it just sticks out a little more for me in Friday the 13th, 2009. In Halloween Kills, you got all the hospital shit and the possible social commentary that might have been shoehorned in by Jamie Lee Curtis, but that's a whole nother story. And the dialogue, Evil Dies Tonight. But overall, 2 movies that I will definitely watch again and enjoy them both. But there can be only one winner. I'm going Friday the 13th, 2009. I think this movie gets unjustifiably hated. I don't love this movie, but I think it's a good movie, and it's a movie that I can pop in. Do people pop movies in anymore? I can turn on. And just like that, guys, we're tied. You guessed it right. We're going to need the tiebreaker. So what the fuck could this tiebreaker be? Well, as you know, we have another movie in the Halloween franchise. The much maligned Halloween Ends, right? You guys know I enjoyed it. Now, whether I think it's an appropriate way to end the trilogy is a different story. But what the hell could I put that against? We are cheating here. There is a fan film, or a fan series of films by Vincent DiSante called Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow. I feel it's justifiable to include those in this. Now, they're not canon, I know that. But both these franchises are so fucked up, timeline-wise anyway. We got to do something here. We got to break this tiebreaker. So, Halloween Ends. I'm kind of sick of talking about it, guys. I've been talking about it for a year, and now I've been talking about it ad nauseum since it came out. You guys know I actually am one of the few people that enjoyed what they did with Corey Cunningham, even though, like I said, they have some explaining to do on why they did what they did, and what they did to Myers in that movie was a fucking travesty. Absolutely horrible. Terrible. God. But overall, I enjoyed the story. I just wish it wasn't, the final act of a trilogy. And I wish they would have done some things that they set up in Kills in 2018. Versus a fan film, or two fan films. Right? Now, if you have not seen Never Hike Alone or Never Hike in the Snow, and there's more coming, I would encourage you to go check them out. They are very good. You got Vincent DiSante, who actually plays Jason, I believe, in these movies, who does a fantastic job. And they're really good. They feel like Friday the 13th. In the Never Hike in the Snow, you have both Tom Matthews from Part 6 showing up, as well as the deputy with the anywhere your red dot goes, your bang, right? They're both actually in a fan film. It's cool. They're both good. Never Hike in the Snow is going to be continued into I think some series. I think Vince said, but they're both very well done. Are they enough to top Halloween Ends though? You have something with it's a Hollywood picture. As much as you might hate the storyline, and I get why you do, and I do partially too. As much as you might hate that, it's still, the soundtrack is fucking kick-ass. It's absolutely great. The junkyard scene is absolutely fantastic as well. Still got Jamie Lee Curtis. How do you go against that versus a fan film? Well, easy. The fan film's better. Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow are better. There we have it, guys. Friday the 13th wins. I know I'm a Halloween guy, guys. I know I'm a Halloween guy, and I know that we can, like I said at the beginning, we can piece together how to rank these two franchises many different ways. For simplicity's sake, this is what I did. Maybe another time we'll rank them. We'll rank each franchise and then determine and go like that. But as far as ranking them the way I ranked them, I think Friday the 13th is a more solid franchise. It's got a lot of shit, but it's got a little less shit than the Halloween franchise. The Halloween franchise has way more highs than the Friday franchise, in my opinion. The OG, nothing can touch that. But it also has too many lows with, Halloween 5, Resurrection 1 in this, but it's still a fucking low. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, like I said, that's not a fun one to watch, at least for me. But some of Jason's shit I can actually watch. I can just put in and just have a good time with it. Whereas the Halloween ones, maybe because I'm closer to Halloween, but the Halloween ones piss me off a little bit more. So that's my ranking, guys. Tell me down below which of these franchises you would think is better. If you want to break it down like I did and tell me which of the each movie is better, go ahead and do that. I will see you guys next time.